The Hoffman Show. We're on the Team 980, always live on the free Odyssey app as well. And, of course, we are your home for University of Maryland football. They are reporting to camp and getting going this week. And quarterback Cam Edge, who, of course, last seen in football pads, throwing a touchdown in the Music City Bowl last year, is with us here on the Hoffman Show. Cam, appreciate your time, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. So, I mean, what's a summer like for a college football player these days? You know, you guys have all the camps, you guys got stuff you got to do, and then you got plenty of time off as well. Do anything fun, like mostly training? What's the summer like for you?
It says definitely mostly training. I'd say that takes up about 80% of it. And then for me, I'm kind of a more boring guy really at home. I'm from Delaware, so it's easy to get back home. I like coming back to seeing my friends. I got some friends at other colleges playing ball too. So seeing them when I can on the weekends and, kind of just resting now these last couple of days before camp. So just really just training and being around family and friends, hanging out, getting ready
Sounds
for
like
season.
Yeah, sounds like a great summer. We know you're going to be in a quarterback competition there for Coach Locks. What are the things that, as you left last season, you wanted to work on and spent most of your time training on this offseason?
For me, it was just really improve my body and getting a little bit quicker and really I think kind of getting rid of some weight kind of helped show that a little bit more because I've always been an athletic guy. Like played baseball, played shortstop, center field. I didn't pitch, so that tells you a lot there. And played basketball growing up. Played all three sports, so just showing that to people more because everyone knows I throw the ball pretty well. But sometimes people don't really see the athletic side of things, even though it's there. Being a young guy, they haven't seen as much. So that's really all it's been, and I've done a good job of that. Lost probably about 15 pounds so far, and we all know during camp you'll probably lose a little bit more being in pads and being so hot. But that's what I've focused on, and I think it just went extremely well, and I think people are going to see that soon enough, and that's not really as bad as people think it is in the first place.
Yeah, what are the things that you're doing there? I mean, diet and kind of how you train obviously is the big thing, but like let's go into it a little bit. Who are you working with and what are like the most important things that you had to nail every single day to achieve the goals that you set out to on those fronts?
Yeah, we have a great strength staff at University of Maryland. Say Coach RD, Coach Wood, all those guys. I've had great relationships with them, so I have so much faith and trust in them that when I go in, I know they have a plan made for me and all the guys. That all I gotta do is come in and work hard. We have a great dietitian in Lauren who's put a plan together for me, and that's probably been the biggest thing when it comes to changing your body. Diet and sleep are very important. And then during the month of May, when we were off, I worked with Bobby Sports PT in Hanover, Maryland. Really good job working more explosive and stuff like that, and it got me to a point where now I can dunk pretty easily. Losing some weight, and I was always doing it when I was younger, playing basketball more, but now I like to do it as a football guy and not playing basketball a whole lot. That was really good to see, and it was really easy to do. So running really good times and stuff like that, and those were people I really work with, and they're great people to have around, and so I can't think of them enough. It really helped me out.
Cam Edge, quarterback at Maryland's with us here on your home for Terps football, the Team 980. I know typically dietitians will either be like, all right, we got to add something. Most time it's like protein, or hey, all right, I see you. You're a candy kid. We're gonna have to cut some of that back. Were you an add guy, or you were a subtract guy for the dietitian part of it?
I was actually, and this sounds weird, to lose weight, I actually was an ad guy.
Yep.
So like some people, and it really kind of shook me up. She told me I wasn't eating enough. Like I thought you eat 3 meals, veggies, a little bit of rice, chicken, stuff like that. But I wasn't eating the snacks and like meals in between. So now, like even now, I got a Core Power protein shake here. I just had before this. So
Yeah.
that Greek yogurt, I never had Greek yogurt before in my life. So that was something, and so it was really nice. It was actually kind of easy. I enjoy it. Grocery shop now a little bit and make my own food, so it's been nice.
That's cool. Yeah, no, it's that does trip people up, but it's a huge thing. Just got to make sure you get the right ratios right, and that's why one thing I learned: nutritionist, you can get an online program for that. Dietitian, you got to go to a lot of schools. Those dietitians are very, very smart.
Right.
Again, Cam Edge is with us here on the Hoffman Show. Every time I've had the chance to talk to Locks, I'm just blown away by the guy. He's so smart. He's got such a great personality. You're like, you were built to be a college football coach, both because you're great at coaching the football, but the personality, like who wouldn't want to play for that guy? So what's it like to actually be a quarterback in a Mike Locksley program?
I'd say it's somebody. Everyone in the room gets a lot of information, and that's a good thing. You know what I mean? If you're really a true quarterback, you want as much information on your plate as possible because that's the answers to the test. We always say you got to rehearse the show, and if you have every answer to it, you're prepared when the time comes. And that's what I'd say about that room. When we go in there, we learn a lot. You know what I mean? We really we have good times as well. Like Coach Locke said, sometimes like you got to teach something and kind of joke around a little bit to kind of get yourself back locked in because if you just go at it all day, sometimes you can lose some things. You know what I mean? So we have a good time, but at the end of the day, we learn a lot in that room, and I'd say that's the big thing for me.
How many? I'm so curious because like covering the Commanders, like we do as well. They've built this ridiculous staff where they have so many guys coaching wise in that quarterback room. What's it look like for you guys these days? Like how many different coaches are contributing to that room for you?
For us, we have like our OC still is in the picture. Like we talk to him a lot, but we have Coach Locks, and then we have our young GA and Eric Nigerian, who actually we got to play with, was a teammate of ours who one day
That's cool.
he's gonna be really really good as a coach. Like he does a really good job now, and I think he's gonna be a household name very soon. And really appreciate him. I know as a young GA, there's probably a lot of things where like you're going through the grind every day trying to be a coach, but I hope he knows that he's going to be really good one day, and we appreciate him a lot.
College football, because there's 100 guys on the roster, like a lot of positions, a lot of coaches or a lot of players don't get to know their head coach. What's it like having him in the room every day? Because I imagine on one hand it's probably nerve wracking, on the other hand it's probably awesome.
Like I said, it's really awesome because at the end of the day, you see it through the person that runs it. You know what I mean? And you can see things in different lens, but we as the quarterback see it through the guy who runs the whole his candy store, as people would say. You know what I mean? So you have to that's a good to see. You know what's happening and stuff like that, and you know what you need to know. And like I said, he has so much experience with offensive football and quarterbacks and stuff like that. Like obviously with Jalen, Tua, and Mac and Talia, like he's seen it from many different ends of the spectrum. So at the end of the day, like I said, we get every answer to the test we need. You know what I mean? That's what you want as a quarterback.
Yeah, for sure. Who are some of the guys that I don't want to say model your game after because that's like too direct, but that you take inspiration from, the guys that you really enjoy watching, and why is it that you enjoy watching them?
Me, you probably won't like to hear this one. I'm a Dak guy, so I love watching
Hey,
Dak.
look, I have a lot of respect. Like I cover the Commanders for sure, and I'm sure a lot of people listening won't like to hear that. I understand who Dak is as a quarterback. That's a great answer. He's awesome.
Jordan Love guy, especially after the playoff game. I got to watch him do us in pretty bad, so it was kind of fun watching him do that from a quarterback standpoint. But so guys like that, those are fun to watch. And even I love seeing young guys come in. You know, I mean, like C.J. Stroud, like watching him. I got to watch him play in person as a freshman at Maryland, and I'd probably say he's probably the best player I've seen play in person, like as a quarterback for sure. Like it's every ball, even the ones that were incomplete, were in the right spot. You know what I mean? So I'm a big fan of all quarterback play at the end of the day, but those are kind of guys I like to watch the most and try to model my game after, honestly.
When you watch a guy like Jordan, and I think Jordan's so interesting because obviously he was in the room with Aaron, and you can see that influence of the very unique footwork that seems to be passed down in that Green Bay tree. Like, do you ever like try that stuff, or you're just like, I'm gonna do it how they teach it here, the more traditional ways, and kind of that, or is there other parts maybe that you can take out of what he does that then translate to the way you do it?
There's definitely what I say from like the Green Bay tree that sticks out the most to me when you watch all of them in a row and they look very similar is they just play completely free. They're not sticking to like, well, do it this way, do it that way. They're letting it be how they want it to be. And I think that's kind of something you got to take and put it in your own way. And then, like, when you throw it around with your friends, like, yeah, try to throw it like Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers. Sometimes what you find out is when you don't worry about every mechanic and you kind of just let it flow a little bit, you throw it 10 times better because you're not worried about the outcome of it. So that's kind
Yeah.
of where I take a lot from Jordan Love. And I think it's actually really, really fun to watch him do that.
Yeah, no doubt. Last thing I want to talk about with you, Cam, is Cam Edge, quarterback from Maryland, is with us here on the Hoffman Show. There's all the hullabaloo, and especially in this world, in the talk radio world, about NIL, and everyone's trying to figure it out. You're an athlete who's living it. What's it like to be an athlete in college, especially at the quarterback position in 2024, where you are getting some of this NIL attention?
It's fun. So you got to put it in perspective. It's not why you play football at the end of the day. You know what I mean? You play football for the love of the game and stuff like that. And my main focus is still training and being the best version of me. But it's fun when you get to like partner up with certain like the Michael Strahan brand. I didn't get to watch him play, but my dad talks about how good a player he was, and got to put some of his suits on and stuff like that and rep that brand. And even like the apartments in College Park at Tempo, I'm working with them now. So it's some really cool stuff. So people, there's some negative to it. And yeah, I mean, but me personally, I've had a lot of great people working with me and helping me out in the journey. So it's been really nice and just a lot of fun opportunities for me, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. Cam, this was great, dude. I really enjoyed talking ball with you, and hopefully we get a chance to do it again during the season. Best of luck as you get going with camp, and we'll talk to you down the line.
Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate it.
This is The Hoffman Show on the Team 980 and the Odyssey app.